I'm delighted to introduce my friend, my mentor, a master therapist and a man I believe to be a force for good on this earth at this time when we need it. Dick Schwartz.
Hi. So I want to thank Derek for that very sweet intro. He didn't mention this, but he's made big contributions to IFS himself. He does an amazing workshop on IFS with grief and wrote a chapter on that for a recent book, and is also a great guy. So I'm very honored to have you bring me here. It's great to be here. I think I've not been to Toronto since I was a hippie, so it's great to be back. I always loved the city. And
yeah, it's all a bit surreal. Like I'm feeling okay. My energy's okay. The side of my tongue has gone numb, which is really, really annoying because it makes it hard to teach because I'm speaking strange. But at the same time, I'm talking to, the palliative care doctor. And in Canada, we have medical assistants in dying. So I've got a doctor coming on Tuesday to sign off on that to my home so that when I'm ready to go, she can just come and give me the injection. So, and I just got back from Mexico with Maya. So it's all a bit strange.
wow.
Yeah.
And what's the prognosis in terms of?
Well, it was diagnosed as metastasized in July. So it's gone to the lungs as well as the throat. I think what's likely to happen is that the tumor here is just going to keep growing unchecked. And at some point, it's going to press against the esophagus or the larynx or burst some blood vessels. And at that point, it'll probably become unendurable. So that's when I make a decision about when I'm going to go.
Okay.
So I don't know, it could be 2 months, could be 4, something like that. Could be less.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about it? I heard you say surreal, but
Yeah. So it seems like each progressive shift brings up the same sort of parts, right? So parts that are grieving, parts that don't want to go, don't want to leave, parts that don't want to leave Maya. She's only 20. And then at the same time, I've got the main narrative in my system is that I'm being called home, because that's my understanding. And that the body's response to being called home is to generate the cancer, because it's the only way it can facilitate those steps home, which is part of the mystery. But to me, that provides a lot of comfort. Say, okay, at least there's some way of making meaning from this, which feels genuine.
and the narrative came from guidance or something?
No, I was doing some medicine work with a shaman and received or downloaded that information. That's what the cancer.
Well, that's what I mean by guidance. Yeah.
Oh yeah, guidance. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But that's probably hard for all of your parts to believe.
Most of them are on board. Actually, at the moment, as I'm talking to you, it feels like they're all on board. I might be missing a couple, but what I'm hearing is from some of them, even if that's the case, we don't want to go, even if it is. So what I've been guided to is this is, the process is transitioning to becoming an ancestor. And that's what this transition of consciousness is about.
Mm-hmm.
But even then I can hear, yeah, but I don't want to transition to becoming a fucking ancestor, even if that is true, right? That sounds lovely. And I also have a manager that's using that as an attempt to spiritually bypass, because every time one of these comes up with protest, this officer says, no, we're transitioning to becoming an ancestor. So I have to keep that one in check. Otherwise, it'll be the only allowable narrative, and these other parts have a different. They just need to be witnessed, I think, as they go along.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, so did you have thoughts about how to use this time?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to see what's up for me, and if I'm missing something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought you'd be really you'd be the guy to help me do that because you know me so well. I'm also having a surge of love for you, and maybe I'll be the last time I see you. So
Love you too, man.
yeah. So the goodbyes are the hardest.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so we can just go in and see if you're missing anything. We
Great.
could also try to get more access to your guides. Uh, and we could also see if there's anything the cancer wants you to know. So all of those are possible.
Okay. Doesn't feel like I'm missing anything. Feels like I've been quite clean in that process. The guides, usually I have access to them when I'm working with medicine. I realize I could probably have access without the medicine. I am curious. Last time I attempted to encounter the cancer as an entity, it was confused. It was confused about what was going on. However, at the time I had an agenda. It was an agenda to try and get rid of it, basically. So I wasn't coming
Yeah,
with a ton of self energy. So we can maybe go that route.
that sounds good. Yeah, we'll just see. There might be parts that have been using the cancer and have a message for you for some reason. So we'll just see.
All right.
So you ready?
I just had a reaction when you said that because there's a part saying, well, hang on, does that mean that we brought the cancer on ourselves and we want to die? Is that what Dick's saying? So
No, not a bit. No.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that part panicked.
Yeah. See if it'll give us some space.
All right, what dogs you got?
What?
What dogs do you have?
I have one little Havanese.
Oh yeah, is that the one that Gene takes on the planes, right? Yeah, yeah. I got them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go ahead and focus on the cancer again
yeah. Right.
and see where you find it mostly in your body right now or around your body.
Well, I know it's in the throat and the lungs, but it feels like it's here. This is the main one. This is the one
All
that
right.
is growing rapidly.
Okay. How do you feel toward it? Did you notice it?
The word companion comes up. So companionable.
Okay, good. So let it know you feel that way toward it.
Yeah. I'm getting a
Just
getting a visual of us kind of walking together.
good. Yeah, just see if there is something it wants you to know, or the parts that are involved want you to know.
Yeah. Feels very peaceful.
Uh-huh.
I'm reminded of a Ram Dass expression, we're just walking each other home.
Uh-huh. Right.
It's surprising. There's not a lot of energy there. Just a
Okay.
sense of walking with, but walking with like we're both people, like two people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ask it about itself as a person.
Okay.
There's something about that it wants you to know.
I can't tell if I'm making up a reply, if there's a part of me doing that, or if I'm hearing from it. Can you help me with that?
We'll see what it is, see what the response is.
All right. So what I'm experiencing is it's linking arms with me.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of just like Yeah, it's how it is.
Okay. Maybe ask if it did come to do that, to take you home.
It's nodding.
That's it's,
Yeah, it's nodding. Yeah.
okay. And anything it wants you to know about this particular time and why it came now?
It's got regret about bringing pain, which I appreciate.
Uh-huh.
Um, It's time.
Okay. Maybe ask it, did it make that decision or was it sent or yeah, you know what
Sent.
I'm asking?
Really clear. Sent.
It was sent. And can it reveal who sent it?
Yeah, I just got very quickly. I'm getting information very rapidly. So what it's showing me is this huge. It's immense. I think it's attempting to show me God.
Good. Yeah. So stay with that. Tell it you're ready to see God.
Ah, so I'm feeling very tiny, and I felt this immense surge of love for me,
It's
not
great.
not just now, but through all the ages of me.
Uh-huh.
This time around, this incarnation.
That's right. It's fantastic. Just stay with all that. It's wonderful.
I'm back to feeling peaceful. I'm back to feeling very much my age.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very present.
You still have the connection to God, or is that shifted?
Yeah, no, it feels like it's there, but it's not that dramatic. It's simply I'm back to a companion. It's simply a presence, a connection.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But how does it feel to know that that's who sent this cancer? And
It's good, Dick, because it's confirming of what I experienced on the medicine work, right? Which
yeah,
because there's parts of me that can dismiss medicine work
yeah,
and invalidate it. So it feels very, very good to get that affirmation outside of that context.
that's great. Yeah. And maybe just see if God or the cancer, if there's anything else it wants you to know.
What I'm hearing from God is, beloved child,
Say it again.
beloved child.
Uh-huh. That's great.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Good.
Yeah, just stay with the awareness of how much God loves you.
So comforting.
It's great.
Yeah.
And just maybe bring in all the parts that are skeptical about this or afraid to leave so they can kind of bathe in this love too.
Thank you. What I'm hearing now is beloved children.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. One that's frightened is one that doesn't understand.
But can they feel the love?
I mean, I'm inviting them to step forward,
Good.
and it's coming to them like a bit like light, but more like this really strong, loving presence.
It's great.
And it's calming them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You know how kids, like 5-year-olds, will put their face up to the sun? That's what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're smiling.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, let them all know this is where you're going.
Yeah. I'm also letting them know that we're going to pain manage the journey as much as we can.
Uh-huh. That's right.
What they're scared of is the pain.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, some of them are. Yeah. And I'm letting them know it won't get too bad. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there's no reason to stay
No,
longer.
no, we're gonna go when we're all ready.
That's right. And is Maya going to be around?
It's funny you should ask. We've been able to have some very good conversations, and I said, yes, she'll be around. But I also said to her that she will need to let me go, or I will not be able to go. So she has some work to do. Yeah, but I've got her hooked up with an IFS therapist, so
Right.
that should help. Yeah.
It might also help to watch this video for her.
Oh, good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's just check on those parts now, see how everybody's doing.
So I'm holding them in my arm, and they're like, it's
Mhm.
like there's a cluster of them, like in a meadow, and the sun's shining on them, and the love is shining on them and bathing them. And it's unusual for me, but every one of them has turned their faces up to that experience, and they're all calm.
It's great.
Yeah, normally there's at least one polarity in my system normally, but this is not.
Yeah, it's really great. This is the way you're going to want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody together, everybody ready.
Yeah. A funny one just said, "We're not ready yet." It's like, I know we don't have to be yet.
Yeah, but go to that one and just see what it needs.
Well, it's both funny in its presentation because it's showing me a Monty Python scene where they bring the dead card around and somebody's not ready to go. But beneath the humor, it's also saying, just make sure you check in with us all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, as I'm hearing it, there's a part of me that's made decisions around suffering already. And that decision is that I will not have a tracheotomy. But I'm aware now that that's a part that's made that decision.
Uh-huh.
And if it comes to a recommendation of a tracheotomy, and a part of me decides, no, that's it, we're done. That's what this one's concerned about. So I'm letting him know that I will revisit if that becomes an option, and we'll see who's up and who's ready. Because to parts of that feels unendurable to live with a tracheotomy, but other parts are saying we might not be ready then. So that's a good clarity to have.
Yeah, so everybody should be on board and have a voice.
Yeah.
So let them know you're going to make sure that's the case.
Okay, now I've got the polarity. But one of them's turned around, two of them have turned around and said, we're not having a fucking tracheotomy. Oh.
Okay. All right. Well, let's bring both sides together and you kind of mediate for them.
Okay. The parts that don't want the tracheotomy were showing me a hole in my throat, various videos, films that we've seen, someone that we know that had a talk box attached to their neck, just ghastly. And they don't want that. And then these other parts said, we don't want to die frightened.
Yeah.
And then the ones that don't want the tracheotomy have agreed that they'll, if that becomes necessary, they'll revisit that. That's their biggest fear, is the tracheotomy.
Uh-huh.
But they're willing to, if their choice means that these other ones are so frightened when we pass, then they're willing to renegotiate that, which is great.
That is great.
Yeah. They're very kind. I mean, they're kind. They just have their own fear. They don't want to live with a tracheotomy.
Yeah. And maybe ask a little more about that fear.
It's the loss. I won't be able to talk. I won't be able to teach. I won't be able to sing.
Yeah.
So much that gives my life meaning and purpose.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And how's that for the other parts?
They're nodding. They're hugging each other. And they're saying this isn't easy for any of them when they've got fear. The others are still basking in the presence of love.
That's great.
It's like these others, there's like four of them, they're like two sets of brothers. They're just agreeing that this is just not easy. It's not easy. But they're also,
Maybe,
I can feel their respect for each other though. They're not polarized anymore. They're respectful.
that's great. And just remind them that you'll be there the whole time with them, as will God.
It's so sweet. They're like, oh yeah. When they get going like this with each other, they completely forget about me and God. It's all about this, right?
That's right.
So it's very sweet to have them go, oh yeah. Yeah. And comforting for them too. Yeah, I'm not going to abandon them.
And maybe, Derek, just see if either side carries any burdens they want to unload.
Fear of dying. Oh, well, I've got family stories. The parts reminded me of. So I'm not sure if these are landing on these parts or not. But one family story is actually one thing I remember is almost drowning when I was 7 in a swimming pool. But a family story that may connect, I don't know yet, is um, being extremely asthmatic as a baby, going blue, being unable to breathe, being rushed to the hospital for adrenaline injections.
Uh-huh.
So, but that's the remembering part. So I don't know if that's accurately coming from these.
Yeah, just ask the parts directly if they carry any of that or anything else that doesn't belong to them.
Okay.
Want to unload. My understanding is once you die, a lot of it gets unloaded, or maybe all of it, but
Right. It's my understanding too. Yeah. Yeah. So the ones that are frightened of dying are saying it's cute. It's very much kid language, but it's like, what if we stop? What if we just stop? So that's their fear, is that they're not gonna continue.
what do you mean? What do they mean? Do you know?
The death is the end of everything for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, tell them that's not true. I mean, you could ask God, but
Okay, so they're saying it's not. How do you know? So I'm showing them some of the guidance I've received, which somehow they weren't included in, but they can see it.
okay.
They can see it now. I'm showing them this dancing state of bliss,
Yeah,
eternal, infinite bliss. That's good. One of them said, "Wow, yeah,
that's great.
yeah." He's that's so neat, Dick. He's smiling and he doesn't have that fear of he doesn't have the fear of death now. And his buddy, the one next to him, is also he's like a kid brother, but he's like, oh yeah, okay.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And just check around and see if there's anybody who's still afraid.
No.
It's great. So it's feeling pretty good in there?
Yeah.
Good. Um, I can't remember what else when we started was up. Does that take care of it all?
You gave 3 options. We could come to the cancer,
Hear from the guides,
hear from the guides,
which we have.
or your experience of God and the guides is that they're synonymous?
No, well, sort of, in the sense that uh, they're sent by God
Right.
and they're part of God, but then they also separate. It's sort of like we're drops of that big ocean too, the
Right.
self and the body, but we're also part of it. So it's the same idea.
No, they all feel very settled. Yeah.
You could ask if there's anything they want you to do, or any people you want to connect with, or just to feel complete.
Yeah, no, they've I told you I'm writing a book about this process, right?
Huh?
Yeah, so they just want to they're telling me to I don't type, so to make as many videos as I can ahead of time. And I want to make a set of videos for Maya for every birthday that I'm not here. I may need to make videos to the people that will be here when I pass, because if I can't talk, I want them to be able to hear the gifts that they've given me. That's the only thing. They're just saying, get on that, because already I can't talk properly, and they don't know how fast. Like if my tongue becomes completely numb, it's going to be useless. I won't be able to talk. So that's the only thing that they're concerned about. Like, make sure you do that soon.
Okay, if you want, you could ask the cancer if it's in a big hurry or not, whether it could slow things down a little.
A part of me says, must be an English part. So, well, that's rude. You can't just ask it to slow things down. Just
It can always say no. It could, it's not rude.
Answer has choice. We're good.
Right.
All right, let me see. Actually, the question I want to ask is, can you let me speak? Can you let me continue to speak?
Okay, good.
But you know what? There's a part of me that's so scared to hear no that it's not allowing me to ask. It's not
Okay, well, let's work with that part.
okay.
So, what's its fear if you heard no?
I won't be able to talk, and I won't be able to say the things I so dearly want to say to the people that I love. I won't have time.
Uh-huh. Well, my experience with these cancer things is um, they can negotiate some, usually.
All right, great. Let's give it a shot. Thanks. That was really good for that one to hear. Okay. Huh. Really quick response. I felt an easing back, a pulling
Uh-huh.
back. So that feels like a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let them know you appreciate that.
So much. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and just make sure it knows you're not trying to get out of going. You just want to make sure it's complete before you go.
Yeah, it knows. Give me the thumbs up. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my sense is that somehow the cancer can maintain its agenda without taking my voice so soon.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So there's other ways it can operate, which is
Yeah.
good. Because my skeptical part was like, I don't believe a word of it. I said, well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
But check with that part and see about its fear about believing. It's a fear of being disappointed, right?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so follow up with whatever doctors I need to see about the tongue being numb and if there are treatments for it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I suspect the cancer's okay with that too.
Good.
But ask the skeptic to not, erase the possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's not interested in doing that, but he wants to make sure that he showed me this image of me going with like blind faith and in this kind of
Yeah,
way. And it's like, that's good, and check with the doctors. So, okay, well,
yeah.
that's what it's concerned about. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, that works. Hmm. Anything else we can do at this point?
Doesn't feel like it. I'm going to return. I think this video is going to become a touchstone for me, so I'm going to return to it. If I get kind of wobbly, it's a lovely, it's been a lovely experience, and it'll be a lovely reminder. I'm also very grateful that I've been able to, well, it's one of my reasons I'm so grateful to you is at this point in my life, I've been able to do so much work with the parts around this that I haven't got stuck in fear, and I haven't got stuck in despair, and I've been able to attend to them. And that would not have been possible had I never met you. So much to be thankful for, but that in particular.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah. I'm gonna miss you, Derek.
Yeah. Well, part of me says I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Soon enough. Soon enough.
You be well.
You too. And I'd love to be able to keep the video too, or use it if you're
Oh,
up for that.
yeah. Yeah. Don't use it till after I've gone.
Totally. Of
Yeah.
course.
Then you're welcome to use it in whatever way you think is, I mean, it's all about being helpful, being of service, right? So sure.
I think it'll be very, very helpful to a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, good. My hope is that my book will be too. So,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, you know what I have to tell you what I'm calling it. So the title is Dead, brackets, spoiler alert. A psychotherapist journey with cancer. So I figured that would grab their attention, you know.
Yeah, I think so. Do you have a publisher? Or?
Yeah, the guy who published what's his name's book, Chris Burris's book.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a good guy. So yeah, we're working together. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you don't mind, send me the video.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah. I might also hit you up for an endorsement for the book because never hurts to
Of
have.
course. Of course.
I'm again sorry about the scheduling mess up, and thanks for making the time.
Not a problem at all.
All right.
No, I'm really glad we could do this. Felt really, really moving to me, as you can see.
Give my love to Jean.
I will
Okay.
tomorrow. Okay.
Will do. See ya.
Bye-bye.